Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Dahlia Sharsheret, and I am honored to serve as the president of Sharsheret's Board of Directors. Welcome to Sharsheret's annual benefit. We are so thankful to each and every one of you for being here this morning to help us acknowledge all of the tremendous work that Sharsheret has accomplished this year. Sharsheret has become the leading cancer-focused Jewish organization in the United States, impacting more than 57,000 women, families, students, healthcare professionals, community leaders, and athletes throughout the 50 states. We have many to thank for today's celebration. Our benefit co-chairs, Dr. Tammy Brick, Alana Cutler, Dr. Tamar Greenspan, Tiffany Kaplan, Batya Paul, Phyllis Roth-Katz, Deborah Skolnick, and Linda Zucker. We would also like to thank our silent auction co-chairs, Jennifer Aronoff, Shifra Bentheim, and Sahava Reinhardt. My colleagues on our board of directors, please stand up as I say your names: Jonathan Blinken, Lisa Farkovitz, Arzu Jesselson, Marla Melman, Courtney Mizell, Dana Norris, our immediate past president, Stacy Smolin Schwartz, Leslie Seidel, Lauren Weiser, Alyssa Zaga, and Esther Zeidman. And our founding board members, Dr. Patricia Kane, Keith Mendelson, Tani Mirsky, Gail Propp, Nikki Sawson, Naomi Spira, and Lauren Weiser. I would also like to thank the incredible staff of Sharsheret, and especially Ellen Kleinhaus, whose tireless efforts have made today's event such a huge success. Our corporate sponsors, Amgen Oncology, Merck, Novartis Oncology, Pfizer Oncology, and Tesaro. And to today's incredible honorees, guest of honor Dana Post-Adler, the Lisa Altman Volunteer Tribute Award recipient Deborah Leipzig, and for young leadership, Dr. Alana Rossman, and their friends and family who join us from near and far. As we come together today to celebrate Sharsheret, our feelings are bittersweet, as some of the women of Sharsheret are not able to be here. I would like to call upon Shlomo and David Mirsky, Ruchi's boys, to recite a chapter of Tehillim as we pray for a full and speedy recovery for all of the women of Sharsheret who are undergoing surgery or treatment. Please rise and have these women in mind as we recite Tehillim chapter 121.
Shir Lama'alos, Esa Einai El Haharim, Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Ezri Me'im Adonai, Osei Shamayim Va'aretz. Al Yitain Lamot Raglecha, Al Yanum Shomrecha. Hinei Lo Yanum Velo Yishan, Shomer Yisrael. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha, Al Yad Yaminecha. Yomam Hashemesh Lo Yakeka, V'yareach Balayla. Adonai Yishmorcha Mikol Ra, Yishmor Es Nafshecha. Adonai Yishmor Teizcha Uvoecha, Me'atav Yad Olam.
A song for ascents. I shall raise my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help is from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to falter. Your guardian will not slumber. Behold, the guardian of Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your guardian. The Lord is your shadow. He is by your hand. By day the sun will not smite you, nor will the moon at night. The Lord will guard you from all evil. He will guard your soul.
It is remarkable to see so many of you at today's luncheon. We would especially like to thank Alana and Sharsheret and the Sharsheret staff for putting together this beautiful event. Our mother always emphasized the importance of Team Sharsheret, and we only wish she would have been able to be here today to celebrate with us. Thank you all for being a part of the Sharsheret chain.
Looking around this room, It's hard to believe that my sister Ruchi founded Sharsheret only 15 years ago. My sister once wrote, My sister once wrote about what drove her to start this organization. During my treatment, I was the youngest person in every waiting room. Nobody looked like me. I knew many women with breast cancer, but not women raising young children or women who were still newly married and trying to get back to their careers. What I really needed was someone in my circumstances with whom I could talk. I was looking to connect with another young person who was going through the same experience. She was introduced to Lauren Weiser, and with the comfort she received from their shared experiences, Ruchi quickly recognized the importance of this type of connection, and Sharsheret was born. Ruchi wrote, "The name literally came to me in my sleep. I woke up with the word Sharsheret in my head. I remembered as a child learning about Sharsheret HaZahav, a chain of gold, and I thought, isn't that symbolic and beautiful? We were a chain. We were connected one to one, women united in strength and in courage. I remember countless nights watching Ruchi working on everything Sharsheret. I have vivid memories of stopping by my sister's house, running up the stairs to find Ruchi at her desk or in her bed with the laptop on her lap, piles of organized papers all around with Post-its. She would be typing vigorously and managed to carry on a conversation with me without stopping. When she was working on Sharsheret, it was like there was a fire within her. And even on the harder days, when she would do Sharsheret work, it was almost like she had a miraculous boost of energy. She wrote, "We were helping people at a time in their lives that was so delicate. It had to be perfect." Ruchi gave so much of herself to this organization, but she received so much more in return. I watched Ruchi live her life these past couple of years to her fullest, and that's thanks to all of the support that she received from Sharsheret at all stages of her disease. To commemorate the first yahrzeit of my sister and Sharsheret's founder, Sharsheret is proud to launch Rochelle's Dream, a campaign for our future. Our goal is to raise $10 million over the next 3 years to secure Sharsheret's future and growth. Your major gifts towards this fund will help fulfill Rochelle's dream by ensuring that every Jewish woman benefits from Sharsheret's critical cancer programs. We are proud to announce that 8 lead gifts have propelled the launch of this critical campaign. The future can start today. You can make Rochelle's dream a reality. Everyone in this room can participate in Rochelle's dream by dedicating a meaningful gift, volunteering, making connections. The opportunities are endless. Please take the first step now and fill out the cards that are in the Sharsheret cell phone card holders on your tables, letting us know how you would like to get involved. Place the completed cards in the box on your tables, and a member of our staff will contact you privately so that you too can be part of this dream. With your support, no Jewish woman will face breast and ovarian cancer alone. I am proud to introduce a new documentary, Sharsheret Partners for the Future. Some of the women who participated in this film are here with us today. Please join us in thanking them. I know you will be as inspired by them as we are.
My sister Lauren was diagnosed with breast cancer. It really flipped everything in our family on its head.
I was 31 years old, and my journey began from there. I had a lumpectomy followed by a mastectomy.
When you hear the word cancer, the first thing that you think is, oh my goodness, what could happen here?
My brother was there to help me through each stage.
You fear that there could be a loss. I mean, my sister is my only sibling.
When Ruchi and I were introduced to each other, there was no other source of support in an organized way. And what ultimately became our Link program was really born from our friendship. Ruchi was in need of peer support, and I was her peer supporter. When Ruchi was mid-treatment and I was ending mine, she asked me if I wanted to get involved in starting an organization. And that organization is Sharsheret. Together with a small group of 5 women, we sat together around her dining room table and worked together to create this outstanding organization.
The network that is Sharsheret reaches well beyond one woman being there to support another.
It grew from a Link program to symposium. I remember our first symposium on genetics and fertility. We were in Cornell, and we sat there with amazing doctors, and it's morphed into so much more.
We've got satellite offices in different areas of the United States. It's not just helping women with breast cancer anymore. We're helping women with ovarian cancer, and we're grateful that today's families don't have to deal with the challenge that we did, and we know how big a difference Sharsheret makes in the lives of all families.
Here at the Vassar Center at the University of Pennsylvania, we're doing critical research, but in order to do that, we need cooperation between patients, advocates, and it has to be a two-way street. Sharsheret fills a critical role in providing that link and enabling this dialogue back and forth. Sharsheret is an amazing organization, and we've been very fortunate to partner with them in a number of different initiatives. Some of these include the Teal and Pink Shabbat, which allows us to get information into communities. We've developed a guide for rabbis in order to help them explain this type of information. So it's incredibly valuable collaboration, and we really feel that this information is life-saving and that people should know about it.
My sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. She was 37 years old. It shook the whole family, and because she was so young, they tested her for something called the breast cancer gene, which it really was not a well-known thing at the time. Because my sister, she was positive for this gene. I had a 50% chance of carrying the same gene. So I took a test, and it came back, unfortunately, that I was BRCA1 positive. The statistics say that it's a lifetime risk, 85% lifetime risk of getting breast cancer if you carry this gene mutation. It also has a high risk for ovarian cancer, 40% risk for a lifetime. And I had to make a choice about getting a preventative mastectomy. And my mother introduced Sharsheret to me. You know, talking to people is all I wanted to do. I wanted to know what people went through, what the recovery was like. So months of going through all the emotional challenges, and I made the choice and I came to terms with it, and I had the surgery. And it, in a strange way, it empowered me, it made me stronger, and it gave me a purpose in a lot of ways that now I have taken it very seriously to pay it forward. In the past year, Sharsheret has asked that I actually speak at some universities to make some more awareness about the BRCA gene. Some may choose to not take the drastic step of getting a double mastectomy. I see myself being involved with the rest of the community through Sharsheret to be able to talk to anybody that is dealing with the same type of decision making.
The values of Alpha Epsilon Phi and the values of Sharsheret are very similar. It's Jewish women supporting Jewish women. A big part of sorority life is philanthropy, and also a big part of sorority life is education. So we are raising money. We are coming together and we are doing good along with Sharsheret. And I've seen our women really embrace Sharsheret and rally around the cause.
We really need to raise awareness on this campus. No one really knows about the prevalence of breast cancer in the Jewish community. So we thought it was so important to bring Sharsheret here and really raise the awareness and help and raise money.
Basically every year we have a couple events. For the past 3 years have had something called Cake Wars, which is a cake decorating competition, and it has to in some way incorporate the Sharsheret theme in the cakes. And on Friday night, we have Pink Shabbat, which there's a completely pink dining hall. We decorate everything, and then people come upstairs and there's an evening of speakers.
Really, after they come to the event, there's a line waiting to talk to us, talk to the speakers and say, this was amazing.
I can't even really think of other organizations that have that type of reach, that have that type of broad, wide appeal. I have, friends at Barnard, I have friends at NYU, Binghamton, etc. And they're all doing stuff for Sharsheret.
If we didn't have an organization like Sharsheret, we'd be really beginning from ground zero. Within our AJFCA network, they're working with over 60 agencies in 25 states. We can not only call on Sharsheret as professionals, but we can connect our clients and our community members with Sharsheret for the personal ongoing support that they may need. This level of expertise and knowledge is rare. Our job is made that much more comprehensive and holistic and knowledgeable with the support of the Sharsheret team.
I was actually in the midst of a very busy lifestyle, living very happily and comfortably. I had gone for an annual mammogram, and within 5 days, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was feeling pain for a while. I went to top oncologists. I went for a sonogram and mammogram, and there it was, a large tumor. I didn't know what was going to happen, where I was going to be, who was going to take care of my son.
I was given the information, but with nothing else.
I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to ask. I didn't know what hit me.
The unknown was very powerful, and I really didn't know where to go.
When I went to see my doctor, it's like, I don't know the right questions to ask. Here, Sharsheret gave me a list of questions to ask.
Sharsheret is there for you. They really are there for you. They empower you.
Sharsheret helped me tremendously. They sent me care packages. They sent me for my son packages.
It made me a better person, a stronger person, and it's elevated myself and my family.
Every time I hear their name, I'll never forget what they did for me, the support. God bless Sharsheret. I'm very thankful, very thankful.
My daughter, Eve, is 9 years old. She is the first child born in the world to have been screened for the BRCA gene as an embryo. So we know she doesn't have BRCA because we didn't put any BRCA positive embryos in. We found 10 years ago the one geneticist in the world who was doing screening on embryos for the BRCA gene. And he agreed to screen my embryos for the BRCA gene. For me, I made the choices that I made because I had been through cancer. I'd watched my mother die from cancer, and I was not passing it on if I could avoid it. I was going to do everything in my power to do that. And so we did IVF. A cell was removed from each embryo, and they were sent to a lab in Detroit, and they were biopsied to find out which embryos had the BRCA gene. And then the embryologist selected the ones that didn't have the gene and implanted those. So that's how my kids were born, through IVF. But when I did it, I asked my doctors about it, and they looked at me like I was speaking Greek. They didn't know what I was talking about. Their concern isn't long-term making you a family. They really just want to keep you alive. I was concerned about being alive and having a family. So I had to navigate that myself. Now, Sharsheret does that. So I speak with a lot of young women who are going through cancer treatment and are concerned about preserving their fertility, and also women who have BRCA or suspect they have BRCA and want to know what they can do to avoid passing that along, because if I have children, will I give this horrible thing to them? And there is the technology to avoid doing that now. For me, it gives me a lot of comfort to know that my girls don't have the gene, that their risk of breast cancer is the same as any other woman on the street, because my risk was 88%. What I'm saying to you is you can change your future.
I think these are important areas that are evolving and changing the face of breast cancer. And Sharsheret understands it, and the more involvement they have with organizations, we can educate others to prevent future cases. Patients, if they understand their genetic background, can prevent breast cancer and can prevent death. So why wouldn't we want to spread the message?
Over the course of these past 15 years, Sharsheret has brought breast cancer to the forefront of the Jewish community. It affects all of us. Moving forward, we have amazing recognition from organizations throughout the country, the government, and it's allowed us to enhance our programming and our vision going forward. We're committed to continuing to grow Sharsheret and continuing to meet the varying needs of the women that we serve.
Again, there should be no need for this at some point in the very, very near future, Emir Hashem, but for the moment, we know that even in the absence of Rachi, our absolute powerhouse, this organization has strong, strong footing to be able to help those in need.
It is now my honor to introduce Alana Silber, the Executive Director of Sharsheret, whose incredible vision and dedication will help shape the growth and future of this organization.
Thank you, Zalia. Several years ago, Sharsheret got a call asking if we would partner in creating the first ever breast cancer awareness race in Israel. We were thrilled to be part of this new venture that would bring together Jews from all over the world in support of raising awareness about breast cancer. Jews from Israel, Jews from Europe, Jews from the United States. After months of preparation, maybe close to 2 years, the race day came. Ruchi and I went into Gan Sacher, which is a park in Jerusalem, and it was one of those very, very hot days with the strong Jerusalem sun beating down on our heads. As we moved among the thousands of men and women towards the starting line, we approached the race leaders who were positioned high on this podium, the mayor of Jerusalem, Nir Barkat, and Senator Joe Lieberman. To say that they were perspiring is an understatement. We looked at each other and we handed them the Sharsheret hats. They eagerly put their hats on their heads. Now imagine the scene. We're in a sea of thousands and no one could see anyone's faces. All of them are positioned up at the podium, and high above the crowd, there they are, the mayor and the senator, wearing Sharsheret hats. Ruchi turned to me with tears of joy and excitement in her voice that I'd never heard before. She said, "Alana, look up, we did it. Sharsheret is leading the Jewish response to breast cancer." We were jumping up and down, hugging each other, knowing that Sharsheret had entered a new phase of leadership. I, like many of you in the room today, miss Ruchi every day. Her laughter, her passion, and her leadership. I want to reassure you that just as I was with Ruchi then, I am here now to lead Sharsheret with the help of all of you in the room today and thousands more across the country. Together, we can carry on Ruchi's legacy and ensure that Sharsheret will be here for every Jewish woman and family for years to come. Today, we welcome 27 new jewels to the Sharsheret chain. Our jewels are also leaders. These are major gifts that enable Sharsheret to take on new initiatives and sustain core programs. And we are proud to recognize them each year at this event. You will notice some of us wearing Sharsheret necklaces, a special gift to our jewels, and a way for all of us to raise awareness as Sharsheret ambassadors. And now, we introduce this year's Sharsheret jewels. A founder's jewel in support of Rochelle's dream, gifted by Karen and Mati Gutman, Aviva and Dr. Yitzi Jacobowitz, Tammy and Dr. David Katz, and Shari and Nathan Lindenbaum in honor of Florence and Joseph Appelman. A founder's jewel in support of Rochelle's dream, gifted by Corey and Brad Meltzer in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. A founder's jewel in support of Rochelle's dream, gifted by Sherry and Neil Cohn in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. A founder's jewel in support of Rochelle's dream, gifted by the Sharsheret Board of Directors in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. A pink diamond jewel in support of Rochelle's dream, gifted by Dr. Tammy and Dr. Hillel Brick in honor of Tammy Brick and in memory of Doris Brick and Esther Semmelman. A pink diamond jewel in support of Rochelle's dream, gifted by Fagi and Barish Elephant and Leah and Mendy Elephant in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. A pink diamond jewel in support of Rochelle's dream, gifted by Cindy and Rob Citrone in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. An emerald jewel, gifted by the Carmi family in memory of Avraham Aliyah. An emerald jewel, gifted by Melanie and Rabbi Solomon Grunwald.
A sapphire jewel, gifted by Dana Norris and Dr. Stanley Frankel and family in memory of Gail Norris. A sapphire jewel, gifted by Dana Post Adler and James Adler in honor of Deborah Skolnick and in memory of Rochelle Shoretz and Emily Skolnick. A sapphire jewel, gifted by Dr. Alana and Rafi Rossman in honor of Rena and Mark Sokolow and Judy and Dr. Lawrence Rossman. A sapphire jewel, gifted by Joanne and Ephraim Zayat and their children in memory of Solomon Kranz. A sapphire jewel, gifted by the Maurice and Hester Lowenthal Philanthropic Fund in memory of Mitzi Trorig. A sapphire jewel, gifted by Marla and Jonathan Melman in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. A ruby jewel, gifted by Ruthie and Joey Bodner in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. A ruby jewel, gifted by Alana and Jason Cutler in honor of Marcia Lerner. A ruby jewel, gifted by Lisa and Donnie Farkovitz in memory of Rochelle Shoretz. A ruby jewel, gifted by Sura and Bert Fried in honor of Esther Zeidman. A ruby jewel, gifted by Avi Gilbert in memory of Becky Gilbert. A ruby jewel, gifted by Tamar and Michael Greenspan in honor of Dr. Alana Rossman and Lauren Weiser. A ruby jewel, gifted by Vicky and Samuel Katz in memory of Daniela Muffson. A ruby jewel, gifted by Shira and Michael Muffson with loving contributions from friends and family in memory of Daniela Muffson. A ruby jewel, gifted by Eliza and Josh Rossman and Margot and Yechiel Rossman in honor of Dr. Alana Rossman. A ruby jewel, gifted by Judy and Dr. Lawrence Rossman in honor of Dr. Alana Rossman. A ruby jewel, gifted by Siegel Rothman in memory of Sarah Bakshi. A ruby jewel, gifted by Mark Smilo in memory of Jill Smilo.
Please join me in thanking to the 31 generous supporters who have renewed their jewels this year. A complete list of our incredibly generous supporters can be found in your printed program. Please, a round of applause for everyone. Please enjoy your lunch, and please take some time to go to the silent auction. It's reopening now, and we'll close promptly at 12:15. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you, everyone. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we move forward. The auction's now closed. Thank you very much. The winners' names will be posted on boards outside the ballroom after the completion of today's program. I want to send a special thank you to all the auction donors listed in your program for their generous gifts. Also, rumor has it that not everyone knows what the giveaway is. So on your table, I don't know, I heard someone told me it was a lint roller. It's not a lint roller. It's a cell phone rest. Take it out of the plastic. It's just wrapped, for aesthetic purposes. And you take off the plastic shield and your phone can rest on it either way across on top. Take it home with you. Take it to your offices. Help spread the word about Sharsheret. There's one for everyone in the room, but that's what it is, a cell phone rest. Okay, just putting that, and here we continue with the program. Thank you. Since 2005, we have been privileged at this event to recognize the contributions of men and women who have given their time in support of Sharsheret. Many of those honorees are here with us today, and I'd like to thank them for joining us year after year as they continue to serve as Sharsheret ambassadors. This year, they also help us welcome our honorees, Dana Post-Adler, Deborah Leipzig, and Dr. Alana Rossman, our young leadership representative, into their esteemed group. Inspired by Sharsheret's mission and her close friendship with Ruchi, Dana Post-Adler incorporates Sharsheret into so many aspects of her life, from her daughter's bat mitzvah celebrations to her competitive racing to Pink Day at Englewood Hospital. Dana has made Sharsheret a priority not only for herself and her family, but for our Jewish community at large. Please join me in welcoming our guest of honor, Dana Post-Adler.
I have a memory. It's the summer of 2005. The Middle Eastern sun is warm and shining. There is a faint smell of spice, and I am walking the ancient limestone streets of Jerusalem with my new friend, Rochelle Shoretz. We are in the middle of our fellowship, and Rochelle had only recently been through the worst of times by surviving breast cancer, having been diagnosed at only 28 years old. I feel as if there are gulfs between us. Rochelle is 33, and I'm 5 years her senior. She is an observant Jew whose children attend yeshiva, while I am part of the conservative stream, raising my children in a fiercely Zionist household while they attend public school. But as we spend time together, I begin to be mesmerized by Rochelle's wise counsel, her sensitivity, her positive outlook, her boundless energy, and her thoughtful insights. Unwinding Rochelle was like unwinding a ribbon with treasures tied to it. She clerked for Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What was that like, I asked her. The power, the prestige, the access. I could only imagine. She was a corporate attorney with high-profile clients, and as a result of her own ordeal, she founded a thriving not-for-profit called Sharsheret, which filled a need for young Jewish women who were diagnosed with breast cancer. At the time, Rochelle didn't know that aside from her beautiful boys, Sharsheret would be her life's legacy. I asked her why we needed another Jewish organization, and specifically, why did we need another breast cancer charity when there were already so many? Patiently, she described how lonely and helpless she felt while going through her own diagnosis and treatment. She illustrated how, unlike the general population, there are unique issues for young Jewish women. She pointed out that the BRCA gene is much more prevalent in Ashkenazi Jews and that prophylactic measures can be taken to prevent cancer. I asked her advice about my dear college friend Deborah Skolnick, whose sister Emily was also diagnosed with breast cancer in her 20s. She told me to give Emily and Deb information about Sharsheret, and other than that, just to be present, to call, to visit, and to make them laugh. I'm forever grateful to Ruchi for those important words. Upon my return home, I followed her advice, and my daughters and I went up to Scarsdale for a beautiful lunch with Deb, Emily, and their mom. Emily was quite sick at that point and passed away not too long after. When Debbie was diagnosed with breast cancer, I stood with her every step of the way. I'm blessed that she's here today and agreed to co-chair today's event. Later, while Ruchi was working in New York City as a corporate attorney, we would occasionally meet for lunch, and whenever I attended a Sharsheret event, she always graciously invited Jim and I to sit at her table with her family. We would spend time together at the Federation GA and the Lion Conference, and we would discuss ways in which Sharsheret and the Federation could partner. In 2010, when Ruchi was diagnosed a second time, now with stage 4, I was devastated. She had gone back to work at Sharsheret, and we met there for lunch. We were catching up on our kids and our lives, and I revealed that I was planning on running my first half marathon. Knowing that Ruchi was an athlete, I asked her to run with me. And then it dawned on me that there was no true athletic fundraising program at Sharsheret. I so wanted to do something to help, to make a difference in the life of this extraordinary person. So on that afternoon, I vowed that I'd run for her. I had never truly trained for anything athletic in my life, but I worked hard and I was ready. Yet on the morning of the race, I woke up to freezing, torrential, pouring rain that seemed to be blistering sideways. My running partner didn't even want to go, but I told her I had to run for Ruchi. There were 4 Sharsheret runners that morning with makeshift t-shirts. I had raised several $1,000s for Sharsheret. We stood in Central Park with other racers wearing garbage bags. There was no way I was quitting now. I was running for Ruchi and for Emily and for Deborah and for all the Jewish women who need help and guidance and support from Sharsheret, the links in the chain of love, communication, and knowledge. That morning, I crossed the finish line as the first Team Sharsheret athlete, slogging through in just over 2 hours. And every year since then, I'm proud that I can join Team Sharsheret as a half marathon runner. I feel privileged to be able to raise funds and awareness and honor and memory of these 3 special women and for all young Jewish women who face breast and ovarian cancer. And this year, I've established a jewel in their honor. Thank you so much for coming and for inviting me as the guest of honor. Mazel tov to Deborah Leipzig and to Dr. Alana Rossman on their honors, and to all the co-chairs of the event, especially my dear friends Debbie Skolnick and Tiffany Kaplan. Thank you also to Ellen Kleinhaus and Alana Silber. I know it must have been difficult to plan the first benefit without Ruchi, but I know that you have done her proud. And on the first anniversary of her yahrzeit, her beautiful neshama is filled with joy. I can never hope to be as superhuman as my friend Ruchi, but I can help carry her legacy forward. And I hope to see Ruchi's dream flourish for many, many years to come. Thank you.
On behalf of the board of Sharsheret, please accept this gift as a token of appreciation for all that you bring to Sharsheret. Mazel tov.
Each year, Sharsheret is privileged to recognize outstanding volunteer contributions with the presentation of the Lisa Altman Volunteer Tribute Award. Lisa was a Sharsheret volunteer whose sterling qualities were evident in the last gift she gave to all of us, this wonderful event, that she envisioned as a way to thank her mother, her sister, and her friends for all that they had done for her during her illness. Please join me in welcoming one of Sharsheret's extraordinary volunteers, who was also one of Ruchi's closest friends and always knew how to make her laugh. Our Lisa Altman Volunteer Award recipient, Deborah Leipzig.
I have been thinking about having to stand up and give these remarks since the day I was asked if I would accept the Lisa Altman Volunteer Tribute Award. And after the me? You're sure me moment, I started to panic. Was I really going to get up in front of a room of 600 people and talk about the most difficult things I had lived through? And not just in front of people, but people who lived through this with me, both when my mom died 18 years ago, and then again. And then again last year with Rochelle. Well, it seems that the answer to that was yes. And while it's true I've spent a lot of volunteer time working with Sharsheret, it feels today a little like being honored for just surviving great loss. But when I dig a little deeper, it's clear that those two things are not unrelated. A huge part of that survival has been Sharsheret. When my mom died, I was just 21 years old, not so far from Shlomo and David today, and I felt powerless and overwhelmed, feelings I'm sure so many of you in this room relate to. Feelings that felt so original, so impossibly personal and unique. How could anyone else understand? I met Rochelle a little over a decade later, and she got it. She lived it, but more than living it, she did something about it, and I wanted to do something too. You know how there are just some people you meet, and you know, yes, this is my person. That is how Ro and I were from the first time we sat down to coffee, ostensibly to talk about work, and spent 90 minutes sharing our life stories. Our stories began to merge, and we became the best of friends. The kind of friends who call each other from the bathroom of a restaurant during a painful date, who role-play a tough conversation or meeting, who advise on everything from dress choice to salary negotiation. Rochelle helped me understand the power of yes. Yes to a drink, yes to a trip, yes to a job. Put it on the calendar, make it happen, do the work, book the flight, and get it done. And it was so resonant of my mom's attitude towards her cancer, towards her life. Plan for the best, anticipate miracles. Her favorite mantra, my mom, anticipate miracles. My mom embodied the very essence of that idea. You wouldn't know she had cancer or had battled it for 15 years. It just wasn't what was important about her. What was important was entirely everything else. And my volunteer work with Sharsheret is that to me. It's everything else. It's about connection, it's about community, and it's about making a difference, and in the best, most effective way, anticipating miracles. Sharsheret taught me that as unique as I feel in my feelings of loss, I am far from alone, and Sharsheret is a network devoted to that. I am beyond grateful to the unbelievably supportive and truly impressive people in my life, many for 25 years or more, and many of whom who are here today, who make me feel connected and loved on a daily basis, and I'm very glad to have the opportunity to say that from this stage. And so I said yes. Yes to standing up here and sharing this with you. Yes to accepting this award. And yes, to taking the very worst days of my life and channeling that energy into making this road a little bit easier for women living with deep loss or who are battling this disease, and for all of those who love them. I'd like to congratulate and thank both Dana and Alana on their recognition here today, and especially on all the work that they do for Sharsheret. I also want to thank the extraordinary staff of Sharsheret, especially Alana and Ellen, and especially Dahlia, who I love dearly, for the work that they do on a daily basis and go above and beyond. So, in closing, I want to ask all of you to join me and my mom and Michelle and Lisa Altman, for whom this award is named, and together anticipate miracles. Thank you.
Before we present the award to Deb, I just wanted to show, this hangs in our office, and it recognizes all the other recipients up until now for the Lisa Altman Volunteer Tribute Award. This will hang in our office for years to come, and Di will present her with her gift. I will always remember what Alana Rossman said to me the first time we spoke about her Sharsheret experience. She said, "I equate my medical team with my Sharsheret team." Understanding the critical work that we do, Alana has dedicated her time and her expertise to Sharsheret to spread the word in the medical community and beyond. Please join me in welcoming our Young Leadership Representative, Dr. Ilana Rossman.
I am so touched to be recognized on behalf of the Young Leadership at this year's annual Sharsheret benefit. I would like to wish a mazel tov to Dana Adler, this year's guest of honor, and Deb Leipzig, the Lisa Altman Volunteer Tribute Award recipient, who both put in so much of their time and efforts on behalf of Sharsheret. It is truly my pleasure to be honored with you both today. I owe tremendous gratitude to Ellen Kleinhaus and to one of my oldest and closest friends and co-chair of this event, Tamar Greenspan, for their tireless efforts to ensure that today's luncheon would be both beautiful and successful. I would also like to thank Alana Silber for coaching me through this journey and for her ongoing support. A man is walking down the street when he falls into a hole. The walls are so steep he can't get out. A doctor passes by, and the guy shouts up, "Hey doc, I'm stuck down here. Can you help me out?" The doctor writes a prescription, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a priest comes along, and the guy shouts up, "Father, I'm down in this hole. Can you help me out?" The priest writes out a prayer, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a friend walks by. "Hey Joe, it's me. Can you help me out?" Without blinking an eye, the friend jumps into the hole. The man says, "Are you crazy? Now we're both stuck down here." The friend answers, "Yes, but I've been down here before, and I know the way out." People often ask me, "What did Sharsheret do for you?" And it was exactly this. I was thrown into that hole when I least expected it. A mother of 2 young boys, in the final few months of my 10-year long and unforgiving medical training, and nothing could have prepared me for the reality that hit when I heard the words, breast cancer. I was so fortunate to be connected within minutes to a world-class team of oncologists and surgeons. I had friends and family by my doorstep before I could blink an eye, with an outpouring of love and support. But equally as important to me was the support that I received from Sharsheret and the role that they played in helping me navigate the challenge ahead. Naturally, I was hesitant to make that first phone call, so I found myself on Sharsheret's website, clicking around, ordering brochures to be mailed to me. Within minutes, I got an email from Director of Navigation and Support Services, Shira Dubitsky. I noticed you ordered some information for yourself. Do you mind if I call you? At that point, I guess I was caught. We spent almost an hour on the phone talking about my life, my kids, my doctors, my new diagnosis. At the very end of the conversation, she told me that my story reminded her of someone very similar. And by the next day, I was linked to a woman named Chana. Chana was my lifeline. We were two peas in a pod. We had kids the same ages. We had an almost identical postpartum diagnosis. And she had just completed a 6-month treatment regimen that I was about to embark upon. We spent hours talking on the eve of my first chemo treatment. And with every question along the way, she was at the other end with a practical answer. Chana, I will never forget the moment that we met at last year's Sharsheret benefit, although it felt like I knew you all along. Thank you for all that you have done for me. Within days of getting to know me, Sharsheret had thought of everything to fill the gaps. A busy box was shipped to my house with age-appropriate toys for my boys, a makeup kit with beauty tips, informational brochures, and an open line for communication with their incredible staff for anything that came up along the way. Shira and the entire clinical team at Sharsheret, you deserve a medal in my book for all the lives you touch and the subtle way with which you do it. You spent so much time listening to me the first time we spoke. I love the way my frequent updates to you have you dancing at your desk, and you always know exactly what to say and when to say it. On a hard day, I find myself echoing your inspirational metaphors to keep my spirits high. As I reflect on the last year and a half, I am so grateful to Hashem for allowing me to stand up here today and share my story. I am indebted to my parents and in-laws who froze their busy lives to be by my side daily with whatever I needed in so many capacities. My Sakalo sisters and my Rossman brothers and my brothers and sisters-in-law. We've been through our share of life celebrations and life's challenges, and I cannot thank you enough for being who you are. I cherish every moment that I get to spend with you. My extended family and my friends, there aren't enough words to express my gratitude for the home-cooked meals, the rides to and from treatments, the entertainment for my boys, and for all the gifts you showered me with to keep me smiling. Thank you all for being here today and for supporting this amazing organization with me. When I was first diagnosed, we had only been living in our community in West Hempstead for 6 months. But the way our friends became family really touched our hearts. I want to publicly thank the rabbis of our shul for all they have done for Rafi and me and for serving as our mentors through this challenging time. And finally, to my partner in crime and my everyday best friend, Rafi, you were by my side at every single appointment, treatment, car ride to the city, and procedure in the last 1.5 years. You made me feel like I was never alone. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you. I am humbled to be the recipient of the first Young Leadership recognition, as I have only begun to put forth my ideas into Sharsheret's future. I never had the opportunity to meet Rachli, but I know she was an incredible individual who touched so many lives. I can only hope to pay it forward in helping her dream become a reality, that no Jewish woman should face cancer alone. Thank you again for this honor.
Alana, please accept this award on behalf of the Board of Sharsheret for all the work that you do for Sharsheret and all that you plan to do in the future. Thank you. Mazel tov. Thank you all for joining us today. Wishing everyone continued good health and much love. Thank you.